So, you know this guy. He was here last week. He's Robbie Jaeger.
Mm-hmm.
And he put out a whole thing about Colonial Pipeline this week on his Politifi newsletter. So by all means, Jaeger, Jaeger.substack.com. Go sign up and subscribe to Jaeger.substack.com. Hook our boy Robbie up with some stuff. Subscribe there for free. And what's that?
You need to share your screen.
That's the way again. I thought I did. Sorry. There we go. I think that's the right screen, but I don't know. Hold on. Virtual webcam. Sorry, everybody. Just give me a second. Monitor 3. No, that's right. Good. So, North Carolina Colonial Pipeline spill now estimated at...
full cam.
What?
I see your full cam.
Oh, full bird? Gotcha.
Yep.
Turn off the bird. 2 million gallons. Okay. 2 million gallons, which is now the largest spill in U.S. history. No big deal. Just the largest spill in U.S. history. Nobody's talking about it. Biggest,
nope.
Hey, we're number one. We're number one. Okay, so what's going on here? Colonial Pipeline, owned by the Koch brothers and Shell Oil, I believe. 2 million. That's how many gallons of gasoline Colonial Pipeline now estimates spilled from a crack in their pipeline running beneath the Oler Nature Preserve outside Huntersville in August of 2020. Now, there's an updated estimate. If you link in the article, there's a link to that, given as part of their statement. Okay, makes the Huntersville spill the largest inland pipeline spill in U.S. history. Previous record was 1.68 million gallons in Minnesota in 1991. I think Robbie talked about that here last week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, cheers to Robbie Jaeger.
Ah, Jaeger bombs! Cheers, Robbie. So, this latest estimate marks the 4th such time that Colonial has been asked to revise what they believe to be the total volume of the spill, which started at 64,000 gallons in August 2020. Then it was increased to roughly 250,000 gallons a month later. And after state officials noticed discrepancies between the amount being reported as recovered far exceeded Colonial's expected number, they once again asked for another estimate, which Colonial provided to the tune of 1.2 million gallons. It's again 5x every time. Months went by while Colonial slowly pulled their released product from the ground. And again, state officials knew that estimates would be surpassed, but this time Colonial declined to provide another estimate until they and the DEQ settled the matter earlier this month, resulting in a $4.75 million fine for Colonial, as well as providing new testing and information to the agency, which they had declined to provide for over a year. God only knows what's going to come out there. Quote.
Yep.
Right, Colonial says, each estimate we provided to date has been based on the best available data we had at the time. Okay, this is what they said in their submitted estimate report. Company would go on to blame the geographical layout of the site for their model's inability to provide new estimates until a recent change in models gave Colonial what they say is a more responsible approach to determining the potential volume. Another interesting admission in Colonial's report comes in the way of their estimation of how long the leak actually went undetected. This is also really interesting, and Robbie didn't even mention this when he was here last week. As previously reported, Colonial themselves did not discover their leak. We knew this, that 2 teenagers riding ATVs through the area smelled gas, notified the authorities, who in turn alerted Colonial. Now it seems that Colonial believes the pipeline could have been leaking for as many as 18 days, now from July 27th until August 14th, when it was discovered. While it had long been speculated that the leak had happened for a protracted period of time, Colonial's estimate is the first time anyone has placed a possible time frame on the leak. Wow. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Craig. At present, over 1.48 million gallons of gasoline have been pumped from the soil in the Oler Nature Preserve, along with nearly 10 million of petroleum contact water or groundwater pulled from the nearby area that did or could have come in contact with the spilled gasoline. Okay. While back in March 2021, I call them PHMSA, PHMSA, which is the federal agency that oversees pipeline security and safety, published a report condemning the entire 5,600-mile pipeline system as a hazard to humans and the environment alike, with the potential for catastrophic leaks, such as the one in Huntersville, present throughout. And that the spill, possibly several others, were exacerbated by Colonial's inefficient leak detection methods. What a surprise. Despite that, PIMSA, a division of the U.S. DOT, settled with the Cocoa and Pipeline Company out of court on a promise to fix the problems, with no fine, only the threat of a possibility of one. And after long and drawn-out investigation by state officials at the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, in which the agency took Colonial to court, agency also settled with $1 billion+ per year pipeline company for a measly $4.75 million. It's a speeding ticket. I mean, it's a jaywalking fine for them. It's all about the cleanup now, which could take years to complete. It's also possible that this is not still going to be the final estimate that Colonial will provide. On that, only time will tell. And stay tuned to our brother Robbie Jaeger and Politifi for future updates on this story. So I wanted to call attention to it. I know he was here last week, but since he published it, and I love putting up articles, I want to definitely showcase that because we can't talk about that enough. 2 million gallons, largest spill in U.S. history. I mean, what is there to say? They've had to. Go ahead.
Well, it's just all these pipelines. It's the same story. Like, you know what I mean? Between the ones from Canada and this one, and it's just, I mean, it's gratuitously how close it is to indigenous lands already, you know, like it's craziness all around. But the fact that they just get like barely a percentage of like what, like they get no real consequence.
No.
Like, they get to throw a penny at the problem and it goes away.
Like less than $5 million is like what disincentive is that for them to continue doing exactly what they're doing?
Yeah.
Now the other thing that I didn't get a chance to talk to Robbie about was that they were buying up the land also in the area because it was so contaminated that nobody could live there anymore. So one of the things that's happening is Colonial Pipeline has actually been buying that area. And I spoke to somebody completely outside of politics and outside of our space, and he said that at one point his family actually used to own like that whole area, and it's just like a disgrace to see that Coke and what's the other one, Duke Energy and Colonial Pipeline have just completely ravaged and destroyed that area. They do leak all the time. I mean that's
all
one
the
of the
time.
things that pipelines leak. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Pipelines leak.